Hello everyone. Hello, Foxe. Can you hear me, please?
Hello, Vivian. Yes, I can hear you.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Hello everyone, and welcome to this wonderful masterclass with me this evening. Can I just see us in the chat? You can let us know where you're joining us from. So let's see us in the chat, please. Hmm. Please go ahead and invite your friends, your colleagues. I see that a lot of people have not joined the session. So please invite your colleagues, invite your friends, let them come in and listen to this session. It's going to be an amazing session, so you don't want them to miss out, right? Okay, Loveland says is joining from United Kingdom. Welcome, Loveland. Welcome, welcome. I'm not seeing other people's comments. Where are we joining from? Please, let's show our excitement in the chat by telling me where we're joining from. Okay, Justice says is joining from the UK. Amazing, amazing. So we have two people joining from the UK now. I want to see other people in the chat. I've not seen other people's comments yet. Okay. Prince says he's joining from Nigeria. Thank you very much, Prince. Thank you so much for joining. Um, let's see, let's see. Okay, since we have a lot of UK people joining this evening, welcome, welcome, welcome to the session. So we're starting right about now. All right. So while I'm still waiting for other people to, drop their comments and tell us where they are joining from, today's session is all about becoming a cybersecurity analyst and what to do when an attack happens. So we'll be looking at a real life case study. But before that, I want to go ahead and you know tell us about 10 Analytics, right? So what do we do at 10 Analytics? We're a leading edtech organization or company focused on providing you specialized training in technology skills, and delivering comprehensive data consulting services as well. So we have over 4 years of experience building talents for the technology workforce, and we have helped over 2,500 people transition from the classroom into their first job in tech and across the UK. So I saw that we have people joining us from the UK. So I hope we'll have people joining from the US, Canada, Europe, Africa, and Asia, because we are here for each and every one of you. All right. We're also committed to making the technology sector more accessible through our premium experiential training in data analytics, business analysis, data engineering, data science, financial analytics, HR analytics, agile project management, scrum master, cybersecurity, and AI engineering. But for this session, we'll be looking at cybersecurity. All right. So I'm very sure that you've been wondering, oh, who is this beautiful lady speaking to us? So I'll tell you about myself now. My name is Vivian, and I'm a senior cybersecurity specialist here at Analytics, and I excel in security operations. So basically, I have experience in security operations, threat intelligence, incident response, digital forensics. I hold certifications like BTL1, ISC2, SAR1, and I'm currently going for a lead auditor certification, right? So I have a proven track record in securing digital assets. I've implemented IAM for organizations. I've done risk management. And basically, I don't want to like give myself all the hype, but then, I've helped so many people transition into the cybersecurity space through our trainings, and mentorship. All right. So let's move ahead quickly. So what are we going to be looking at today? What are we doing today? So basically, we are looking at, how to respond to incidents as a cybersecurity analyst, which is like the topic of this session, right? And then we look at pathways to becoming a cybersecurity professional and securing a job. I'll also be telling us about our growth internship program and our special discount offer. So before I move ahead, I want to go ahead and check the chats again and see if I have more people that have joined us. Okay. Okay, so I don't really have a lot of comments, but while I'm going through this session, if you have any questions, right, you want to go ahead and drop them in the chats, all right? And then my colleague will be dropping an attendance link. So you want to click on that and register or like, put your name, fill in your details so that you can get the material for this session. Okay, so let's move ahead quickly. All right, so like I said, we're looking at how to become a cybersecurity analyst and what you can do when an incident happens. So first off, we're actually looking at incident response because this is like the core of even like knowing what to do when an incident actually happens in an organization, right? Yes, you're a cybersecurity analyst and you're having incidents or different events happen in your organization and you want to go ahead and like, what do I do? You're asking yourself, what do you do in this case, right? So the first step is incident response, right? So I'm going to be giving us a brief summary of what incident response is about and why it is important. Okay, so what is incident response? Incident response is basically a structured approach for handling security incidents or security events to minimize the damage and ensure that we can recover back to normal operations, right? I mean, incidents in cybersecurity basically disrupt a lot of things, right? Like maybe you have a cyber attack in your organization. Let's say you're an e-commerce organization, right? You're going to like maybe have your website defaced by this attacker. So how do you recover from that? How do you get that website back up and running, right? That is what incident response does for us, giving us that structured approach to know what to do when an incident happens and how we can minimize the damage. So why is it important, right? I guess we already got that from my explanation. So number one is to reduce downtime. Number two is to limit data loss and financial impact. I mean, I always say it's like that cybersecurity incidents are very expensive. So you want to make sure that you are minimizing the financial impact on your organization, right? Even being in that company. So you also want to ensure compliance with different regulations like GDPR, PCI DSS, if you are in the banking industry or like financial industry, right? You also want to comply with like HIPAA if you're in the healthcare industry, and then maybe ISO 27001 across board, because that's a regulation or standard that goes across different industries. All right. So that's what incident response does for us, giving us that structured approach, like I said. So let's move ahead quickly. I'm not sure why my slides are moving up and down, but let's move ahead. All right. So for incident response, we have 6 phases of how to respond to an incident, right? This is a framework by SANS, okay? And the first thing on my list is preparation. So yeah, you know that incidents are going to happen. What are you doing about them, right? What are you doing at the beginning? That is what this framework is about, telling us to prepare for that incident, get ready before the incident happens. And then we move on to identification. So yes, I've prepared, I've put everything in place, like tools, like my employees, training them and all whatnot. But then what do you do when the incident happens now, right? That's where we move to the stage of identification, right? Detecting and confirming the incidents. So this could be done, maybe an employee reports it, or you have a tool that actually was able to report or create an alert, right, for your organization. Okay, so we move from identification to containment. So this is where we are able to stop the spread of the attack, right? We're able to stop the spread of the attack. So you want to maybe unplug that particular system from the network, or you want to isolate it totally so that it doesn't spread to other systems and other parts of the network. All right. And then we move ahead to eradication, where we want to remove this threat completely. We want to eliminate it. So this could be you maybe deleting phishing emails or deleting files that was downloaded maybe through malware or whatever, right? So you want to make sure that you entirely eliminate the threat. Okay, so also move ahead to recovery, right? So what do we do? So yes, an incident has happened, we've identified it, we've been able to contain it, we've been able to maybe delete it completely, but then how do you restore these systems back to normal operations? That is what we do in the recovery phase, while restoring systems and the services back to normal operation, how it was working before and even better, right? And then from there, we move on to lessons learned. So yeah, we've responded to this incident from the preparation phase already because it starts from there, right? If you are not prepared, there's no way you're going to be able to respond to an incident. All right. So we move ahead to lessons learned. This is where we are analyzing and improving our future responses. So we are checking what didn't work well. So yes, we prepared for this incident, but at the stage of identification, there was a tool that wasn't working properly, or maybe our employees were not able to spot it on time. This particular incident has gone on for like months, and we are just noticing it, right? So you want to be able to evaluate what you have done throughout the incident response process. That is what lessons learned is all about. So let's move ahead quickly where I will be explaining these phases in detail. All right. So for preparation phase, this is where you want to have something that is called an incident response plan, right? An incident response plan is that structured document that helps you as an organization, as a cybersecurity analyst, your team basically, right, to be able to respond to incidents. It is that document that you have stated, okay, this is what to do. You've assigned responsibilities. Everybody knows what to do at every point in time, right? That is what preparation is about. So having an incident response plan, that structured document that helps you to, tell, okay, who is supposed to do what? An incident has happened. How do we solve this problem? How do we move from containment? How do we do eradication, right? What tools are we supposed to use? That is what you do at the preparation phase. And it doesn't just end there. It's not just about the technology, right? Cybersecurity is about people, it's about the processes. Yeah. So we go ahead to train our employees in this stage, right, on different kinds of threats that could suffice during an incident. So we have different kind of incidents on phishing, maybe social engineering, malware. You want to go ahead and make sure that you are informing your employees, you are training them to be able to spot these things, right? So I already talked about setting up tools. So we have like SIM tools that we use, and examples of those are Wazoo and Splunk for monitoring. So we use Wazoo even in our classrooms to teach you as well on how to respond to incidents. All right. And then one last thing that is very, very important is to test with tabletop exercises and penetration testing. So if you don't know what penetration testing is, this is basically simulating real world threats. So we have people that we call ethical hackers in cybersecurity. So they are the ones that simulate stress against a system, and then they try to hack into it. Basically, that's what should break it down, right? They try to hack into these systems, and then they go ahead to see, okay, this is what is existing here. We have vulnerabilities, and this is how we should fix it, right? So the only way for you to even know that your incident response plan is working is for you to simulate a particular attack on that system, and then you go ahead to test with your tabletop exercise using the incident response plan. All right. So that is that about the preparation phase. And then examples here are to like enforce multi-factor authentication, making sure that even when, let's say, someone is able to steal credentials, right, while they're trying to log in, there's something there to stop them, right? You also have endpoint security systems. You want to have backups for your different systems or different files that you have in your organization to make sure that you are able to even recover from an incident when it happens. All right. So let's move ahead quickly to the next phase. So the next phase is identification, like I said, right? So what are the key activities in the identification phase? It is to detect security events using our SIM tools, right? Like Wazoo, like Splunk. Yeah. We'll also be analyzing logs here, network traffic and suspicious activities. So this is something that you do on a day-to-day basis as an incident responder or somebody that knows what to do when an attack happens, right? So you also be classifying this incident. What kind of incident is it? Is it a phishing incident? Is it a malware incident? Is it ransomware? Is it a data breach? If people's data get leaked, right? And you'll be using tools like Wazoo, Virus Tutor, Hybrid Analysis, and there are a plethora of tools out there in the wild that you can try as an incident responder or a cybersecurity analyst, right? So an example of the identification phase would be an employee reporting a phishing mail, right? They can report a phishing mail that has maybe a suspicious attachment. So another way is that, oh, maybe employees did not report. Your tools that you have set up at the beginning of your preparation phase are going to report it to you. All right. So that's something that we want to look at when it comes to knowing what to do when an attack happens. So next we look at the containment phase, right? So for the containment phase, you want to look at short-term and long-term actions to prevent the spread of this attack, right? What is that thing that you can do in short term to make sure that, oh, this thing doesn't spread more than it has already gone, right? So it might be, oh, isolate infected system. So you want to disconnect that particular system from the network, right? You also want to block malicious IP addresses, okay? You also want to maybe stop compromised services and reset credentials. I gave an example of maybe someone stealing passwords, right? Or usernames and passwords. So you want to go ahead and reset it. But maybe for that time, that can be like a short-term action to prevent the spread. You never can tell. Maybe they've moved to another system or they've gotten another credential, but you want to make sure that you reset credentials across board in the organization to make sure that in case the attacker is still in the environment and they are trying to log into different accounts and maybe get administrative access, you are able to block that for the meantime while you are still investigating. All right. So that's what the containment phase is about. And an example is basically a malware breakout in a company that locks files. So we already know that this is like an example of a ransomware, right? So you want to isolate the infected machine and block the attacker's domain. So I believe that using our tools, right, like our Wazoo, our Splunk, you'll be able to see what is going on in your environment. And this is why it is very important to have that preparation phase in the first place, right? That is where the whole incident response starts from. Without preparation, every other thing I'm talking about will not be possible, because you as a cybersecurity analyst, so an incident has happened, you want to be running up and down, or you're asking, oh, who is supposed to do what? No, this is what the incident response plan is going to give you, that structured approach, like I said in the beginning. All right, so let's move ahead to the next phase where we talk about eradication. So like I said, if you have any questions, please go ahead and drop your questions in the chats. My colleagues are also dropping the attendance form. So you want to go ahead and fill the attendance form so that you can get access to the resource, this particular slide and the recording for this session as well in your email. All right, so please go ahead and fill the form. And if you have any questions along the line, please go ahead and ask me. Okay, so for eradication, we are looking at removing the threats completely. So first off, you want to find and remove malicious files or registry entries and backdoors. Yeah. So malicious files could be that, oh, maybe they sent a Word document or they sent a phishing email and they said, oh, click on this to download this. And you even thought maybe it was from your colleague in the office, right? So at the eradication phase, we are looking at deleting these things from the system and then scanning that system again to make sure that, okay, we deleted it and it is actually gone, right? So you want to find and remove these malicious files, registry entries, and backdoors. And you also want to patch vulnerabilities that allow the attack. So if, for example, maybe that particular system was not up to date with the software, you want to go ahead and update that software immediately. I know that some of us here, even aside from cybersecurity and the whole business ish that goes on, right? Some of us don't even update our software. And this is how attackers can easily get access to your device, right? So you want to go ahead and patch these vulnerabilities immediately that allow the attacker in, and then scan your systems to ensure that there's no reinfection. So tools like Windows Defender, CrowdStrike, and then we have six internal tools can help us do this, right? So an example is removing a Trojan from an infected endpoint and revoking attacker access. So this is basically you removing the attacker from that particular system at that point in time. Okay, so let's move ahead with the next step in our incident response process, which is recovery. Very, very important. Yes, you've done everything else. You've been able to identify, you've contained, you've eradicated, but then how do you recover, right? And like I said, remember that everything is still built on this preparation phase, because if you are not prepared, even when you get to this phase, there'll be nothing for you to even restore from, right? You won't be able to restore from anything. So restoring systems back to normal operations using your data backup. So it means that from your preparation phase, you already had like maybe 2 or 3 backups of those data that maybe might have been lost or might have been compromised at any point in time, right? You also want to monitor for post-incident indicators of compromise, anything that is still showing that, oh, this particular threat has not left our environment. You want to still keep monitoring. It's an ongoing process when it comes to incident response. It's not that, oh, because we have finished identification, then it has ended there, right? even at the recovery phase, we are still trying to identify if there's anything that shows that this system is still compromised. All right. So that's what the recovery phase is about. And then you can conduct vulnerability assessments on that system as well. So an example for the recovery phase is that after a ransomware attack, restoring files from offline backups. So you obviously already had those offline backups before now. So you are just going to be like, backing up or like recovering from that incident using those backups. Okay. So let's move ahead to the last phase of the incident response plan or the incident response cycle or strategy, right? Which is lessons learned. So for our lessons learned, I already explained that this improves our future response time. Like you are basically looking at what works and what did not work, right? Because what's the essence of even doing an incident response if at the end of the day there are things not even working and you cannot improve them, right? So there's a way cybersecurity works that there's always room for constant improvements, always room for constant improvement. So that's what our lessons learned does for us. Improves our future response times, helps us to update our policies and security controls. So if you saw that, oh, while we were responding, maybe let's say Vivian didn't, or Vivian's number was not connecting, and her number was in the document to call her in case of this thing happening in the organization and stuff like that. We go ahead and update that to say, okay, let there be a segregation of duties, right? Since we were not able to reach Vivian at this point, I think we should have another person on the list that if Vivian doesn't pick, another person is going to pick to assist us with this particular aspect of the incident response process, right? So you want to make sure that you go ahead and update those policies and update even the incident response plan, right? So you have maybe a version 1, you want to go ahead and have a new version of that document, right? And then you want to prevent these attacks from repeating themselves. That's the essence of even having this session. So what really happens here is that stakeholders sit down and discuss and ask themselves, okay, during identification, this particular tool wasn't working properly. Is there another tool that we can explore? Is there something else that we can try out? Right? That is what stakeholders sit down, they discuss, and then they write things down and go ahead and start implementing them. So that in case of another attack, or even to prevent any further attack, or maybe the same kind of threat, right? Or to prevent any other thing from going wrong, they are now putting, so they're conducting that post-incident analysis, they're identifying the gaps in their incident detection and response process, and then they share the findings with other team members. So it could be with other management teams, it could be with the IT team, it could be with the entire organization as well, right? So an example is after a data breach, the organization mandates multi-factor authentication and better password policies. So if, for example, an attacker was able to gain access to like credentials and password, you want to go ahead and update your policy, and not just updating that policy, right? Because I know that some of us feel like, oh, it's just paperwork and everything, but you have to enforce it. That is your job as a cybersecurity analyst, being able to respond to attacks when they happen, right? So our case study is looking at phishing attack, right? Like this is the simplest way to explain how to even respond to an incident, right? So we are looking at a scenario where employees received a fake email with malicious link, and then some users clicked on it, leading to stolen credentials, and then the security team detects anomalous logins from unknown locations. So what is our incident response action, right? I want to see if we've been following. So can I know what you would do in this case on your end? So let's use the chat box and let me see what you would do in this case with everything I've explained, right? Based on this case study now, what are you going to do in this case before we move ahead? And please don't forget to fill the attendance form that my colleague has dropped in the chats for you so that you can get access to the recording. All right. So I'm waiting for us. I want to see what we are going to do in the case of this case study that we have on the screen, where we have employees receiving fake email, because I know most of us have even received a lot of these fake emails, right? With malicious links, malicious attachments, and probably you might even notice after receiving something like that, you are getting another email saying somebody has logged into your account or something. So attackers have different ways that they carry out their tactics or the techniques that they use, right, to attack organizations or even attack individuals. All right. So I don't know if we are following because I'm not seeing any comments in the chat currently, but we can move on, right? So along the way, if you have any comments, okay, Prince says try to confirm the sender. Thank you very much, Prince, for that. Okay, so that's one of the steps. So it means that you are trying to identify at this point, right? You are trying to identify. Thank you so much, Prince, for that. All right, so let's move ahead quickly, right? So the first step is to identify. So you basically want to maybe have your employees who have reported these phishing incidents, right? Or you have a SIM tool that has been able to detect this unusual activity for you, right? And then we move ahead to containment, where we are now maybe resetting, because remember that we said that users clicked leading to stolen credentials. So we want to go ahead and reset those credentials and block the attacker's IP address, the person sending these phishing emails to our employees in the organization. All right. So we move ahead to eradicate. So this is basically revoking access and check for any form of persistence, because some of these attackers, you know what they do after stealing credentials, they go ahead to try to still find more. Maybe they were able to find just one person clicked or two persons clicked, and they see, oh, those credentials have been changed. They already have a pattern of what those passwords might look like, right? So you want to go ahead and check for persistence if they are still trying to brute force their way into your network. Okay, so we revoke access and check for persistence for the eradication stage, and then you basically delete those phishing emails. That's another thing. But what you also want to do is maybe keep a screenshot that you can use as reference in the future in case of when this type of phishing attack happens again, right? So in the recover phase, we want to also enable multi-factor authentication and educate our employees, right? We want to educate our employees because remember that in this scenario, we already said that the employees clicked, that some users clicked on the link leading to stolen credentials. So we want to make sure that we educate them, right? We tell them, oh, this is what to do, this is what to spot, in a phishing attack. All right. And then we'll go to our lessons learned, where we still train staff to recognize phishing. We have meetings to say, okay, what worked? How come the phishing attack happened in our organization? What were we not doing well? What tools can we now start using, or what tools can we explore to make sure that this phishing attack does not repeat itself? And then it could also come in form of threat intelligence as well. There's what we know as threat intelligence, but a lot of organizations don't take it seriously, right? But this is something that, as a cybersecurity analyst, you want to make sure that you are speaking to your management about this, because threat intelligence will actually help to even avert this kind of attack from happening. Because the moment you are able to know what is happening in your own environment, or like, let's say, your threat landscape, right? You are not the only one doing such kind of business in the whole world. There are other organizations doing the same thing. Okay, so threat intelligence is going to even help you to say, this thing has happened to company A and company B. So how do we protect ourselves, right? That is something that you want to look out for in cybersecurity. So threat intelligence is an amazing field, but we're not going to all that right now. All right. So I think I saw something in the chat. Okay, Paul is saying isolate affected machines and run full scan in the containment phase. Thank you very much for saying this. So running full scan, like I said in the beginning, right? Cyber security, or the incident response phase, is a continuous circle. It's not something that, oh, I've done containment, so I'm done with it, right? Or I've done identification, I'm done with it. You want to go ahead and keep scanning from your identification phase, from your containment phase, even eradication, even your recovery phase, right? You are still scanning to make sure that things are working properly. Okay, I think Justice is saying that there's no audio. Is it the same for everyone else? Please, Fope, can you kindly confirm this? Is it the same for everyone else? Can you hear me, please?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, thank you very much, Prince. Okay, thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you, Pope. Thank you, Luashin. I really appreciate that. All right. So, Justice, I think maybe you might want to check your mic or drop off and then come back again to the session. All right. All right. So let's move on quickly. Let's move on quickly. Okay. So we already talked about the phishing scenario, right? But as a cybersecurity analyst, what are the things that you want to look out for to be able to even respond to an incident or be able to even respond to attacks like phishing when they happen, right? So these are some of the red flags. So if you can see my screen here, you can see the Netflix phishing mail that is on my screen, right? So what you want to do in this case is to be able to spot those things that attackers use against us as individuals or as an organization, right? So the first thing on my list here is generic greeting. So, but funny enough, these attackers have become so sophisticated these days, but these are things you still want to look out for, right? So, generic greeting is one of them. So, you can say something like, "Dear customer," or it says hi instead of your name, like you can see in this phishing mail that is telling us, hi. Hi to who, right? At least for Netflix, I receive or I do Netflix subscriptions, right? So, for Netflix, I know that they always refer to me by Vivian. They always say, "Hello, Vivian," or "Dear Vivian," before going ahead to state anything. But this is not just the only way. You also want to check for poor grammar, right? And another thing that I should spot before even talking about poor grammar is if you can see the top of my screen here, let me see if I can use my marker. So if you can see the top of my screen here, you can see this particular domain, right? It's saying from Netflix. But like you can see here, it's not coming from Netflix. It's saying something notifications plus a lot of gibberish stuff at post massage, something, something, right? So this is something that you really want to look out for while you are um, analyzing or investigating a phishing mail, whether personally or in your organization, right? This is something that you want to look out for. So we can see here that Netflix is saying it's coming from Netflix, but it's actually not coming from Netflix because the domain is not Netflix domain, right? If this was from Netflix, at least we see something like Netflix at whatever.com, right? But this is not what we are seeing here. But mind you, you might also see it's from Netflix and the domain is showing like it's from Netflix. Another thing you want to spot is spelling. So that is why we said poor grammar and spelling, right? So it might look like Netflix, but the I in Netflix, they've changed it to number one. But because you are not looking well, you will not know that it's number one that is there, right? So another thing, the subject is saying payment declined. So you want to ask yourself, most times when you receive emails like this, you want to take a step back and ask yourself, oh, have I even initiated any form of payments in the last how many days? When was the last time I even subscribed? Or when was the last time that I used this particular tool or wherever it's coming from, right? That's one thing that you want to look out for. Then urgent language that says something like ask now or your account will be locked, right? So in this email, we can see here that it says we have attempted to authorize your Amex card you have on file, but we are unable to do so. We will automatically attempt to change your card again within 24 to 48 hours. So it's already giving us that, urgent kind of thing, telling us that, we're unable to do it. So, we'll automatically do this again, 24 to 48 hours. So if you are maybe a lover of Netflix now, you just go ahead and say, let me quickly make this payment and come and click update payments, right? So you want to be very careful of this. And this is something that you want to look out for in different emails, all right? So it might not come exactly the same, but you want to look at the tone or like, should I say, listen for the tone while you are reading it out, right? How does this sound? Is it sounding like something that is urgent, like I should do it right now? Or they're trying to like give a time frame to make it look like, oh, if I don't do this thing within this period, or oh, it's going to take a lot of time and stuff like that. So they're trying to make you act immediately. Okay. So also we look at mismatched URL. So hovering reveals a different link, e.g. Microsoft support-login.com instead of Microsoft.com. So the same thing for Netflix. You can see that even the from is not from Netflix. Probably if you click on update payments, right? That's why we said hover over the list because this is a link that they've embedded in here, right? So you click on it and it just takes you to a page that might look like Netflix or take you to one funny site that is showing a lot of adverts and stuff like that. So you really want to be careful, right, when it comes to phishing and responding to incidents. Even as a cybersecurity analyst, yes, you are responding, but don't respond maybe on a system that you know you are not using for, let's say, incident response, for example, right? Because the moment you mistakenly click on a link, you never can tell what could happen. If it's a ransomware attack that they are using that phishing mail to just disguise, right? The next thing you see is that your system is locked, right? So we want to also look at suspicious attachments. So for this, it doesn't really have an attachment, but you see phishing emails that might look like they are coming from your colleagues, right? And they are saying something like, oh, Prince, click on this link to access, excuse me, to access this Google Doc file or to access this Excel file and stuff like that. So that's something you also want to confirm. You might want to even call your colleague and say, did you send me any document? Because maybe it was an unsolicited document. You were not asking for any document. So that could be a sign that an attacker is in your network. So you also want to look for unexpected requests, maybe something asking for gift cards, credentials, or financial data. So remember that if you check very well, maybe from your bank and other services you use, you see that from time to time, they usually send emails telling you, oh, we'll never ask you for your credit card details, or we'll never ask you for payment details, or, like what you use for authorizing those payments, right? They will always tell you that. So you want to be very, very careful when it comes to these phishing emails and being able to encourage your users in the organization, because that's part of your job as a cybersecurity analyst. And part of it is also responding to incidents, right? Remember when we said preparing. So you want to make sure that you understand these things in detail and you are able to pass the knowledge to other users that are not as technical as you or that don't even know how to spot these things. All right. So let's go ahead to look at the next thing. So these are other phishing emails that are included here. So if we look at this carefully, you can see that this is saying Apple supports, right? And then it's saying something Apple at web4.profi something.com. I don't even know where this is coming from, but it's definitely not from Apple, right? And remember what we just talked about. So let me use my pen again so that I'm able to draw on the screen. So you can see here that this particular domain is not coming from Apple, right? It's not coming from Apple at all. Even this one here, they are actually the same, right? It says from Apple, but it is not from Apple. And then you can see the subject saying Apple and Cloud, iCloud service, new notice, right? So it's giving you that vibe that, okay, there's something new that they want to talk about in this email. But remember all the things we said we need to spot. So this is saying, dear customer. Then if we look at this LinkedIn, phishing mail, it also says, dear LinkedIn customer, right? So these are things that you want to spot in phishing emails. Then here it says, we have received your iTunes accounts, or we have received your iTunes account is used for fraud. In fact, this English is not even correct. We have received your iTunes account is used for fraud. So, I mean, remember that we talked about, let's go back to the former slide, right? So that we can see what I was talking about. Okay. So remember that we talked about poor grammar and spelling. So this is something that we are already spotting in this part of this phishing email that is telling us we have received your iTunes accounts for fraud here, right? It's telling us something that sounds very, very funny. And your accounts will be suspended until you confirm that you are the original account user. So you can see the sense of urgency. So that's why I said you need to listen for the tone, maybe while you are reading out, or I don't know how else, right? But while I'm reading out, I can see that they're actually trying to make me take action on the spot, right? Telling me that my account will be suspended until I confirm that I'm the original user, right? And they went ahead to embed a link here and say, click here, right? So by the time you click on this link, you never can tell where it is going to take you, okay? So on this LinkedIn, we can see the body is saying we are currently upgrading our systems to bring enhanced features to your LinkedIn account experience. As a result, your account is temporarily unavailable, giving you that, if you're somebody that is very active on your LinkedIn and they are telling you that your LinkedIn is temporarily unavailable, you want to swing into action immediately, right? So it says, please know this upgrade your LinkedIn account to our new system. I think this is also a spelling and grammar thing that we need to spot as well, right? And then they went ahead to also put another sense of urgency in here, saying that fail to upgrade your account, it will be automatically closed. So if you are someone that takes your LinkedIn very seriously, like me, I mean, if you get this kind of email, you want to like swing into action. And then I can see something here where it's saying we have upgraded your protection on LinkedIn and will continue to enhance your account security. To help us verify your accounts on our servers, please complete the following information requested. And then they're asking for email, which is a normal thing. LinkedIn already has your email address, but they will never ask you for your password again to enter your password and start confirming password on a mail like this, what this email is actually doing, right? So clicking on, let's say, reply to upgrade, the next thing you see is that you've entered credentials. And guess what? If you're somebody that uses if you are someone that uses your credentials across different accounts, let's say your email, you are using the same password you are using for LinkedIn, your Instagram, your Facebook, all your different accounts, you are using the same thing for them. I mean, these attackers have already gotten access to like 5 of your accounts just by you accepting to fill this form or this thing that they have sent to you in your mail. All right. So let's move ahead quickly so that we can touch on. So let me try to delete this. All right. So let's move ahead quickly, right? So that we can touch on other things. So here we are looking at the business prevention strategy. So as a cybersecurity analyst, what are the business prevention strategies that you should use? I've talked about many of these already during this session. So number one is security awareness training. You want to also do multi-factor authentication, email filtering, simulated phishing, and then you want to clear incident response channels, right? So you want to make sure that your users, your organizations know how and where to report these phishing emails or these threats or whatever incident that has happened in your organization. If it's a malware infection, you want to make sure that you give them that clear channel to report it, right? And then role-based access control as well. You want to limit users based on their job role, minimizing the damage of credentials if they are stolen, right? So these are things that you want to look out for your organization as a cybersecurity analyst. All right. So remember that they are dropping the form in the chat. So you want to go ahead and fill that attendance form so that you can get access to this material. And remember that if you have any questions, go ahead and ask me in the chat box, and I'll be taking questions soon. All right. So what is the role of a cybersecurity analyst? What is the role of a cybersecurity analyst? I mean, I've said a lot of this already, so this is not something that I want to dwell on. So number one is detection. You are monitoring logs and alerts from email security gateways, from SIEMs tools. You are investigating, checking email links, attachments, using different tools like Virus Total. You are doing containment. You are also doing user communication. So you want to notify users and educate them of what has happened, right, in the organization and what they can do next. And you will also be reporting, which is an important part of cybersecurity. So you document incidents, you update incident playbooks, and you also contribute to knowledge sharing across the organization. So these are just some quick tips for users. So, if you are looking into getting to be a cybersecurity analyst, right, please start from your family members, start educating them, educate your friends, educate those that you currently work with. All right. So I know that you'll be asking yourself at this point, right, how do you actually become a cybersecurity analyst? Some people might be having it in mind that, oh, cybersecurity needs a lot of certifications, and I can't just get into the field without certifications. But this is a lie, right? The era of certification is over, and nobody actually cares about your certification. All they need from you is to show your skill and your experience. That is what they are looking out for. That's what recruiters, that's what companies are looking out for. Because imagine the job market is looking for cybersecurity analysts that actually have the skills. It's not just about certifications. Anybody can pass certification, and at the end of the day, they don't have the hands-on skills. And we give you that hands-on skills here at Analytics. All right. So don't feel that, oh, because I don't have any certification, I won't be able to make it in cybersecurity. No, it's a total lie. The era of certification is over, and all you need is to show your skill and experience, and that is what we give you here at Analytics. So now you might be wondering, how do you get started, right? how do you select the right career paths in cybersecurity or here at Analytics. And that is why we are here for you, to show you the right path on how to go about things. Okay. So the first thing that we want you to know is that we actually help you learn. Like what we look out for is your learning, right? This is where we start from, for you to learn. Because without learning, what are you actually going out there to say, oh, I'm a cybersecurity analyst? You won't be able to have those skills. So we focus on learning and then we go ahead to package you for the job market, right? We teach you employability skills. We help you revamp your CV. We help you review the CV. We help you do your LinkedIn optimization. So if you don't have a LinkedIn account, please, after this session, go and open a LinkedIn account, right? At Analytics will help you optimize that LinkedIn account to look like a cybersecurity professional, right? And they will also mentor you with the soft skills that you need to excel in cybersecurity. We also do interview preparations, and I'm one of those that will interview you or like help you prepare for that interview when you get the job, right? Or when you get like an offer, right, to for a job in cybersecurity, basically, right? So we help you do interview preparations. We also give you job references. So, oh, the company is asking, oh, who can vouch for you that you actually know what you are doing and everything. Analytics is here for you, and they will also give you on-the-job support. So yes, you've been employed and you're having difficulty with anything. I mean, we have amazing facilitators. I'm one of the facilitators. You can reach out to us and we would help you with anything that you are lacking. All right, and then you also want to apply for jobs aggressively. So yes, we've empowered you with these employability skills. We've given you that classroom experience. You've worked on a lot of projects. You have the skills, but all these things will not work if you don't apply for the jobs. So you want to do targets, you want to target jobs and tailor your CV to apply for this job aggressively, which eventually leads to that job offer that you are looking out for. All right. So let's move ahead quickly. So cybersecurity is a career that is very in demand. So I know that some of us might be wondering, oh, what career path do I take? There are a lot of jobs that are going extinct. People are no longer employed for jobs like this and that. But cybersecurity is a field where, in fact, we have a lot of job openings at the moment, a lot of job openings. And this is not the time to even play around with cybersecurity because technology is here for a long time. The world is going digital every single day. New technology is coming. And how can we secure them? This is where we need you, right? As information security analyst, as cybersecurity analyst. So we've gone ahead to look at the World Economic Forum, and this is the future of jobs report, right? So on this screen, you can see where you can click on it. So remember that you have to fill the form in the chat to be able to get access to this, all right? So click here to download this full report. But for cybersecurity, it's an in-demand career path. And you can see that on this screen, we have how the jobs are growing on a daily basis, right? So we have jobs from information security analysts, we have the Internet of Things, people that specialize in securing smart devices, all right? People that specialize in securing those smart fridges, smart microwaves, making sure that these things are secure on the internet because every single day, different devices are getting connected to the internet, and that is why we need you. And we also need security management specialists because what is management or what is cybersecurity without management, right? So we need you in this field. And this career is something that is very, very rewarding in the long run. So let's move ahead. So we have the 6-step strategy of how we help you land a job here at 10 Analytics, right? Okay, I thought I had questions in the chat. Okay, so the 6-step strategy of how we help you land a job in 10 Analytics, we start from helping you identify your desired career paths, right? So yes, you come to 10 Analytics and you are saying, oh, Vivian, where do I start from? How do I do this? How do I start with this career path in cybersecurity? I don't know what to do. So what we do is to give you that blended approach here at 10 Analytics, right? We give you that self-paced learning material. So we have like our learning management system where you get to watch videos, you get to understand what the career path is about, and then it's blended, right? Like I said. So we also have live instructor-led classes, right? I told us in the beginning that I'm also one of the facilitators here. So definitely you'll be meeting us in class, you ask your questions, anything you watch from the videos or you don't understand, you get that approach to be able to meet your facilitator and say, oh, I don't understand this. And then they are able to explain to you in detail, right? And in these classes, it doesn't just end with just asking questions. We go ahead and work on projects. So you are going to be gaining project experiences and creating a portfolio that you can add to your CV for employers to actually see what you have been doing in the long run, right? So we also teach you employability skills. I already mentioned this before. We do your CV review. We help you revamp CVs. We do LinkedIn optimization. We help you navigate the job market, thereby putting different job listings in your Google Classroom, right? So you can always go there. You don't need to say, oh, I'm searching for jobs everywhere on the internet. We already help you solve this problem of finding that job. So on your Google Classroom, you're going to be having jobs on an Excel sheet. You just go there and then click the links, or you can check for the jobs that apply to you and you go ahead and apply for them, right? And then by the time you get that invitation to say, oh, John or Vivian, we have invited you for this interview, 10 Analytics, we are here as a facilitator to also help you prepare for that interview, right? We give you that approach. We give you how to answer the questions. We tell you, okay, this is what you are doing right. This is what you are not doing well. We help you build your confidence in those sessions, right? And then, yeah, you've done your interview preparation. You've gone ahead to get that amazing job, and we'll also help you with reference letter. So the organization is asking, okay, we need references. 10 Analytics is here for you for that. And remember, I said before that we give you on-the-job support. And not just that, we have a very, very supportive community. So you are able to network. We have mentorship sessions where we are teaching you those soft skills that you need to try. Because cybersecurity is not just about the technical things. You want to go ahead and learn those soft skills like communication, being able to adapt to any environment that you are in, right? So the mentorship sessions are there for you to excel in this field. And at the end of the day, you are going to land that job that you are looking out to get. Okay, so let's move ahead quickly. All right. So everything I've been saying might seem impossible until it is actually done. So these are some success stories that we have from people that have done trainings with us. And I want you to go ahead and watch this first testimonial video here of Adetayo, where he talked about getting his first job in cybersecurity, even when he was still in training. So you can imagine that, right? So go ahead and watch these testimonials to help you, see what we are doing in class, see how people's lives have been transformed through our trainings. All right. So here at 10 Analytics, we do key learning areas. We start from the very basics to teach you, right? We start from introduction to cybersecurity. Yes, we know that some of you might not have all the skills. Maybe you already know some things before, or you don't know some things, or you are just a total beginner, right? We start from the very basics, introducing you to cybersecurity, introducing you to networking, which is very, very important. Ask anybody, they will tell you that to be a proper cybersecurity analyst, networking is one of the core areas that you need as a cybersecurity analyst. So you want to go ahead and register for the course, right? Because you can see the key learning areas that we give you starting from the very scratch, moving into basics of incident response and detection. And you can see that this presentation was about what we even do in class, right? So we teach you those steps to respond to incident, the tools that you need. We go ahead with threat intelligence, penetration testing, and GRC, which is the non-technical aspect of cybersecurity. So if you are someone that is like, oh, I don't really like the technical things, we have the non-technical part in our curriculum to help you transition smoothly into cybersecurity, right? So we also have the tools and technologies that you'll be using in class, like your Bob Suite, your Splunk, your Wazoo, your Zap, Microsoft Defender, Wireshark. There are a lot of them that you're going to be using, Metasploit, Kali Linux, and the likes that you'll be using in class. So these are things that, you want to go ahead and look into while you join our sessions, okay? So you might be wondering, oh, how do our classes run? So for Saturdays, we have live classes for morning and evening, and then for the morning session, it starts by 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. So for those in EU, for those in the UK, in Africa, this morning session is for you. You can go ahead and register, or for whatever time that you feel is convenient for you to attend classes, you can go ahead and register, right? So evenings, we have 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. watts. And therefore, this is for those in like Canada and the US. as well. And then on Sundays, we have like a self-paced learning course. I talked about the Watch Me Do It videos in the beginning. So this is where you have videos on our learning management system that help you, understand the basics of cybersecurity. Everything we'll be doing in class, you have them on the LMS to watch before even coming to class. And then you have your questions. We work on more projects along the line. So what's the timeline for this cybersecurity course? The learning timeline is 8 months. So we have 6 months learning in class and then 2 months internship. All right. So 6 months learning in class and then you have 2 months internship. So what does this do for you? You have the unique opportunity of including us, 10 Analytics and our sister company, Amdari, in your CV, right? So you are able to tell those companies that you've been able to gather skills, you've implemented these skills while in the classroom, and then you've also gone ahead to implement the skills in another tech company like Amdari. All right. And after doing your internship, we go ahead to give you technical skills in this internship program. Even in the classroom, you get the technical skills. In the internship, you are getting the technical skills. And remember that your employability skills are still very important, which lands you the job offer that you are looking for. All right. So let's move ahead quickly to the next thing. Okay. So for employability skills, I know I already touched up on this. So Internal Analytics will help you review your CV. Like I said, we'll do LinkedIn optimization. We'll go ahead to navigate the job market. So we have that Excel sheet where you go and then you see all the job listings for the day or for the week, and then you go ahead and just apply until you get that interview. All right. Also, interview preparations. The moment you get that interview mail to say, oh, we're inviting you for an interview, you want to go ahead and reach out to us to prepare you for this moment and give you that confidence to pass that interview process. All right. So we'll also give you your job reference letters at the points where you need references for these jobs as well. And on the job support, very, very important. We also do weekly mentorship sessions, teaching you the soft skills that you need to excel in cybersecurity. Okay. So we also look at Upwork, right? So if you are someone that feels like, oh, I don't want to be going into the office so much, we also do Upwork optimization to help you land those roles that you can do freelance from your homes, right? So let's move ahead. So on this screen, you can see the image of the Excel sheet where we upload job offers, right? So you can see here the title of the job role. You can see the company that is offering this job. And then we also go ahead to give you the location where these jobs are located. So this is very easy to use. All you need to do is to click on the link, look at the information, whichever applies to you. You go ahead and click on these links here, and then you apply for the job. Okay, so that's about weekly access to the job posts that we have from exclusive job boards. Okay, so we also have access to our personalized AI learning assistant, which is called Oluko, right? So Oluko helps you while you are learning on our LMS platform. If there's any term or something that the facilitator is talking about that you feel, oh, I don't understand, you want to go ahead and ask Oluko AI to explain it to you. And that's really amazing, right? It's really amazing because, maybe you're not able to get access to the facilitator on the spot. You want to go ahead and use this AI tool to break things down for you immediately. Okay, so another thing is that 10 Analytics is accredited by the American Council of Training and Development. So you can go ahead and click on this link here to view our certification. And then let's move on to what the next steps are, right? So what are the next steps? What should you do now to thrive in 2025? All right. So our next cohort for the cybersecurity program is coming up on June 7, 2025. So you want to go ahead and register for this cohort now, right? Very, very important for you to register right now for this cohort. And to do this, remember in the beginning, I said that we have an offer for you. So remember that this program is an 8-month plan. You have 6 months in the classroom and then 2 months internship. And then instead of paying $900, you want to go ahead and pay $750, which is 20% off, right? And we have instrumental payment plans, right? So you can pay $150 per month for 5 months. Isn't it amazing, right? Is it not amazing that you can pay for 5 months? And then if you also want to go ahead and like make your one-time payment, you can go ahead and do that. If you want to do a 2 months payment plan, we have that as well. And then I have my colleagues on the screen here. We have Shay, you have Lydia, and then Ainua, and you can go ahead and reach out to them. Maybe you want to bring clarity on the course you want to do, you want to go ahead and reach out to them and then click on this link here. So I think I don't know if my screen is hi Fope, can you see my screen for the payments platform? Please, can you kindly confirm that so that I can quickly show them this? So please, if you have questions, all right, thank you very much. So if you have questions, right, please go ahead and drop them in the chats. All right. So let me reshare my screen so that you can see the payments platform clearly. All right. Okay. Okay, so let me see if it is showing on the screen now. All right, great. So I just clicked on the link from the slide. So remember that it will be shared with you if you fill the attendance. So you want to go ahead and come here, scroll all the way down so you can see the different course programs that we offer. And then if you are going for cyber security, we have that 20% discount that applies to the June cohort and also the July cohort, right? So if you are paying now, you go ahead to like have that discount and wait for the July cohort. If you are so busy and you feel like, oh, the June cohort is too early and I have a lot of things to do, you want to go ahead and wait for the July cohort, you can make do of that right now and make payments as soon as possible, right? So here you just need to click on the cyber security course, right? That takes you to the payments platform. So let me be sure that, okay, yeah, my screen is moving. Okay, so it's just loading up so I can show us how to make our payments, right? So if you're coming from any country at all and you feel like, oh, I'm not sure how to make payments, all you need to do is to click here at the top and you can see your currency, right? So you just pick any currency you want to make payments in and then go ahead to make your payments. So for here, we have a one-time payments plan, as you can see on the screen. We also have a 2 months payments plan, and you get to save $50 if you make a one-time payment or a 2 months payment, right? So you get to save $50 as well as the 3 months payments plan. You can pay 250K, 250 every month for 3 months, right? And then for 4 months and 5 months as well. So you want to go ahead and click on secure your seat. And after you are done with this, you want to go back to the other platform, right? And upload your receipts right here. All right, so I hope that we can see where to upload our receipts. So you want to upload your receipts at this spot right here. So you just click on this and then it's going to take you to a form to upload your receipts. So right now I'm going to take questions. If you have any questions in the chats, just kindly let me know if you have any questions in the chats at the moment. Okay, I think I see some notifications from the chats. So please don't forget to fill the attendance form so that you get access to the recorded session and the material that we are using for this session. All right. So I don't know if there are any questions yet. Hi Fope, please let me know if I missed any questions at the beginning, please, because I don't think I saw any questions yet. Can just let me know if I
Hello,
missed any
Vivian. So I'm checking
questions.
through
Yeah,
as
hi.
well. I can't find any question.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm checking through as
All
well. I
right.
can't
Thank
find
you
any
very
question.
much. Okay, that's fine. Thank you very much, Pope. And I don't know if, in the absence of questions, I hope that we've been able to get how to make our payments for the program, So you can go ahead and make payments right now, join our June cohort, and things are going to go amazing. I mean, our cybersecurity class is really amazing, and you can't wait to become that cybersecurity professional before the year ends, right? So, in the absence of questions, please, I need a payment link. All right, Opel Lua is asking for the payment link. Please, Opel, can you go ahead and drop the payment link in the chat as well? But I think I can also do that. But please, go ahead and drop that in the chat. Okay. So I just dropped the payment link. All right, so Pope has done that as well. So you can go ahead and make your payments. Paul is asking a question. Okay, so it's not a question. It's not a question, but a compliment that your payment plan sums up to the same amount as one-time payments. Other organizations penalize you on payment plans. I mean, thank you very much for saying this, right? Thank you so much for saying this. Some organizations make you pay more on payment plans. Yes, I get it, right? So yeah, our payment plan is really amazing. You know, we even help you save more, right? When you do that one-time payment, and if you're doing the instrumental payments, we are not charging you anything extra, right? So thank you very much for saying that. I appreciate that. Sonny saying, sorry, I had to take a call, but how long is the program and how much is it? All right. So while I was presenting, right, the program takes 8 months. So you have 6 months in class and 2 months internship. Thank you for pay for that. So you have 6 months in class, 2 months internship, and then the program originally cost $900, but we are giving you a discount for the first 20 persons, right? We are giving a discount to pay $750. All right. So if you are paying, if you are doing a one-time payment, you get to pay 700. If you are doing a two-time payment, you also pay 700, saving you $50, right? But if you are doing like from 3 upwards or to the 5 payments plan, you'd actually pay the $750. All right. So let's see. Okay, someone is asking live or self-paced. So the sessions are live and self-paced as well. We have a learning management system where you get to watch recorded videos, and then also have live sessions. We have drop-in sessions where you can ask questions after watching your your recorded videos, right, on the LMS. So yes, it's live and self-paced at the same time. So it's instructor-led, both hands-on training is included. All right, and you're going to be working on a lot of projects and build your portfolio to land that job. All right. So let's see if we have more questions coming in. So again, if you're not sure how to make payments, I'll just go ahead to show us again. So all you need to do is to scroll down on the page that you need to scroll down on the page that's Pope shared. That's the link that she shared in the chat, and then click on register for CS, and then it's going to take you to this page where you can go ahead and click the currency you want to make payments in, just right here at the top, right? You can click the payments if you want to pay in dollars, you want to use United Arab Emirates dirham, or any country at all. You can go ahead and just pick here and then make your payments. And remember, like I said, we have one-time payment, 2 months, we have 3 months, we have 4 months, 5 months payments plan, giving you that ease, right? So that you can, do things at your own pace. All right. So let me check if we have more questions in the chat. Oh, where is my okay? So let me check if I have more questions. Okay. Can the program be completed in less time by just watching video and working on projects alone? I'm not sure if I understand what your question means, right? But I would answer it from this angle. In cybersecurity, you don't want to just be that person just watching videos and just working on your projects alone, right? You want to go ahead and be in the live classes because it is very important, right? I'm very sure that even watching the videos, you are going to have a lot of questions. Yeah. So whether watching videos, the program is still a 6 months plan and a 2 months internship program that helps you build the skills and get those projects, because you also be working in teams as well. Something that you're going to meet in the workplace. So you also want to go ahead and start doing it here at Analytics, you do presentations of your projects as well, right? So 6 months and then 2 months internship. So I hope this answers your question, Sonny. So I'm just checking if I have any more questions here or not. Okay, so I'll just wait for more questions. Let's see if we have any more questions before we call it a day for this session. All right. So maybe for those that didn't get it when I said something about the payment plan, right? So we are having 20% off for the first 20 people to register, and you have it at a discounted price for 750. All right. So let's see. I'm waiting for more questions, but we're not getting any more questions at the moment, right? So let's talk about our achievements to date at 10 Analytics, right? So we've been able to help over 2,850 plus people transition from the classroom to get their first job, right, in tech across the UK, US, Canada, Europe, and Asia. So no matter where you are, right, 10 Analytics is here to help you, to guide you, and not just guide you in the classroom, right? So you get that first job in tech, we are here for you. And a lot of our participants, they work in these organizations that you can see on the screen. So if you can see my screen, we have participants that work in PwC, FCMB, Amazon, NHS, MTN, First Bank, Fidelity, MRS, Unilever. Like, we have a lot of participants that work in these organizations, and you can be one of them as well. All right. So go ahead, do your registrations, and we can't wait to see you in class. I personally can't wait to meet you in class. All right. So let's see. I think I have more questions coming up. Where is the form to fill for attendance? Hello, Kenny. Okay, Pope already shared the attendance form with you on the chat. So I believe we don't have any more questions for now. So go ahead and make your registrations, and I will see you in another master class, or invite your friends to our master classes. Make sure that they are also trying to meet their own tech goals. I know that everybody wants to move into tech. So whatever tech career that you need, we have it here at 10 Analytics, and cybersecurity is one of the amazing fields. And maybe you might be thinking, oh, I'm coming from a totally different background. I personally, I studied sociology and I'm a cybersecurity analyst currently, right? So you can imagine that. So if that is something that is still stopping you, please don't let it stop you. Cybersecurity is an amazing field, and this is something you want to do. All right. So let me see. I think I'm still having some messages. Can the program be completed? Okay, no, I think I already answered that. Will we work on real case studies or simulated cyber attacks? Do you provide access to virtual labs or real world simulation environments? Yes, Jerry, we do all of this in the classroom, right? So we do real world case studies, we simulate different types of attacks, cross-site scripting, brute force attacks, any attack you can think of, right? We do them in class as well. And then you work on them as projects, you generate reports, which you can add to your portfolio, okay? And you said you provide access to virtual labs, definitely, because this is where you can actually test out these simulated attacks, right? So we don't just do theory here. We're actually doing practicals, okay? We're going to do practicals. We're going to work with the tools that cybersecurity analysts use in their daily lives as well. And for those that maybe you might go to a company and they're not using the exact tool, you have transferable skills. Like, that's what makes cybersecurity really amazing, right? When you know how to use one tool, you can, have transferable skills to a plethora of tools out there. Okay. All right. So I think that that's for our question session. So like I said, I'll see you guys in our next master class, invite your friends, invite your family, to attend these master class sessions. All right. So okay, I think I'm having a lot. Am I permitted to ask questions that have nothing to do with cybersecurity, but business analyst and data analysis? Oh well, you can go ahead and ask your question. Hi, Prince. I don't know if you would like to take that for this person.
Yes, I'm available. I can take that. Thank you, Vivian.
All right. Yeah, thank you very much. So, hi,
So
Uzo. You can go
Uzo,
ahead
you can go
and
ahead.
ask your question, please. All right. So, just wait for Uzo's question, right?
Okay, Uzo, are you able to unmute your mic? So let me see if I can get you to unmute your mic so you can ask
Okay.
your
Yeah.
question.
Yeah. Thank you for that, Prince.
Then Jerry, I think Jerry, I can't Jerry, so you're asking about the percentage of
Oh,
students that
is
have been
there a
able to get a
question?
job after the training. So currently, with the analysis that we have end of first quarter 2025, our success rate currently starts at 88%, right? So that will tell you that if 100 students went ahead to take the program, 88 of them are be able to see themselves transitioning into their landing their first role, despite the fact that they don't have any biotech experience. Okay. I'm looking for Uzo. Okay, that will be you. Okay, Uzo, I've asked you to unmute your mic. Are you able to unmute your mic and ask your question? Uzo, you're able to unmute your mic now, so you can just tap on the mic icon and you'll be able to speak and ask your question about the business analysis and data analysis, even though that is not what we are here for, but I'll take your question. Okay. Oh, okay. So you're asking between data analysis and business analysis, which one is more demanding in the employment force? So both of them are really career paths that are really high in demand. Okay, and if you've been to any of our other tech series, you will see that there's a lot of businesses that are needing business analysts and even a lot of businesses needing data analysts. What our targeted focus or what your targeted focus should be on is where you are presently, which of these career path is in higher demand. And this is where we get to answer you a little bit more, we go way more in depth. So what you can do is the payment link that has been shared in the chat box, what you can do is make your payments, register, and when you are selecting the program that you'll be going for, you can always select speak with a professional. So that way, you'll be able to have a session whereby professionals will look at your background, they look at your country of residence, and they look at every other thing that is surrounding your situation, and they'll be able to advise which of this career path is the best approach for you. Okay. So if you get to do that, you will have the best option right at your doorstep and you'll be able to see yourself transitioning in no time. Okay. I hope that question has been fantastic for you and I hope it makes sense to you. Okay. Do you have any, you're welcome. So you're totally welcome. Do you have any further questions before we round up the session? Okay, so for those that are still on the call, that you are still not totally sure or certain yet which of them we might be going for, or the session is about cybersecurity, or when Vivian was explaining things, I like, oh, you might like, I'm not sure I can do this. So what you can always do is take advantage of the discount that is on present, because this discount is not time-based, it is slot-based, meaning if we have 20 people register, because if you look at when Vivian shared the other screen, I don't know if you really paid attention, but the slot available for the cybersecurity, we only have 4 slots left. You want to try as much as possible, take advantage of it, because the first slot used to be 20. So take advantage of this slot, make your payments, make your first payment, which is 150 US dollars or 123 pounds or 220 Canadian dollars or 255,000 naira. Make that first initial payment. And when you're selecting a program, select speak with a professional. If you get into that particular session where you don't speak with a professional, if you see that, oh, so this is not for me, 100% you'll be getting your refunds back. Okay, so there is absolutely nothing to lose in this case. Rather, you have everything to win. And by the time you see yourself transitioning, you will be definitely be part of those that will be able to speak with and even bring you back to the class and tell every other person how you're able to transition without having another background in tech. So at the absence of any other question, thank you for spending your time, almost 1 hour, 30 minutes with us here. And try as much as possible to take advantage of the discount. And we'll be looking forward to have you either in class starting by June, or we're looking forward to see you in the clarity session. So we slice and dice which of the career paths is the best option for you. So in the absence of any other question, thank you for being here. And we'll be speaking soon, right? Cheers and bye for now.